Have you ever heard the saying, pride comes before a fall? Well, today I've got a classic story that perfectly illustrates this. And it involves two very unlikely racers. A massive, powerful Carabao and a tiny, humble shell. It's a tale of wits versus might, and it's got a lesson that's as relevant today as it was centuries ago. So grab a drink, get comfortable, and let's dive into the story of the Carabao and the shell. Our story begins on an incredibly hot day. The sun was beating down, and the air was thick and heavy. A great Carabao, feeling the intense heat, decided to cool off. He lumbered down to the cool, inviting water of a wide river and waded in, sighing with relief as the water washed over his thick hide. As he was enjoying his bath, he noticed a small shell resting near the riverbank. Feeling a bit boastful, the Carabao decided to strike up a conversation. "Well, hello there, little one," the Carabao said, his voice booming. "You are a very, very slow creature, aren't you?" The shell, who wasn't intimidated in the slightest, replied calmly, "Oh, no, not at all. In fact, I am so fast that I believe I could beat you in a race." The Carabao let out a loud laugh. The idea was absurd. Him, the strongest and one of the fastest animals in the land, being beaten by a tiny shell. "Is that so?" he scoffed. "All right then, let's put your claim to the test. Let us try and see." The challenge was accepted. The shell and the Carabao made their way to the riverbank to establish a starting line. But before the race began, the little shell had a plan. He secretly gathered all of his friends and family, countless other shells who looked just like him. He gave them simple instructions, spread out all along the riverbank, from the starting point to the far-off finish line. "When the Carabao calls out my name," he explained, "the one of you who is nearest to him must answer, 'Here I am.'" With their clever strategy in place, the race was ready to begin. Ready, set, go. The Carabao, full of confidence and eager to prove his superiority, shot off like a cannon. He thundered along the bank, his powerful legs kicking up dust and dirt. He was sure he had left the tiny shell miles behind in an instant. After running what he considered to be a very long distance, he felt so far ahead that he decided to taunt his little competitor. He paused, took a deep breath, and called out loudly, "Shell." He expected to hear nothing but silence. But to his complete astonishment, a voice piped up from just ahead of him, "Here I am." The Carabao was dumbfounded. How could this be? He squinted, and sure enough, there was a shell looking exactly like the one he had started with, resting calmly by the river's edge. He couldn't believe it, thinking the shell must have some sort of secret speed. The Carabao grunted, put his head down, and started to run again, this time with more determination. He ran faster and farther, his lungs burning and his legs aching. After another long stretch, he stopped again, panting for breath. He was certain he had finally outrun the shell for good. "Shell," he bellowed, his voice filled with a mix of frustration and exhaustion. And once again, from just a little way up the path, A clear voice replied, "Here I am." This tiny shell was somehow keeping pace with him, and it didn't even seem to be trying. He couldn't understand it, but his pride wouldn't let him quit. He was the mighty Carabao, and he would not be defeated. His pride took over all common sense. He forgot about the heat, forgot about his exhaustion, and focused on one single thought. He must beat the shell. He ran on and on, a blur of fury and desperation. Every time he stopped to call out, another shell would answer from just ahead, fueling his frustration and his resolve. He pushed himself harder and harder, running faster than he had ever run before. He ran until his heart felt like it would burst, until his legs could no longer carry his massive weight. The Carabao's arrogance and his refusal to believe he could be beaten by someone smaller and seemingly weaker led to his downfall. It's a powerful reminder that strength isn't just about muscle, and that underestimating your opponent is the biggest mistake you can make. Sometimes a little bit of cleverness and teamwork can overcome even the greatest power. What do you think of this story? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this tale, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more stories from around the world. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.